戻りました。
Oh, welcome back.
響さんは
She ran off again.
またですか？あの人、もう4時間以上動きっぱなしですよ。
I suggested taking a break, but she said she was fine.
凄まじいバイタリティですね。
Beats me. What did you have to eat to become like her?
暑かったっす。戻りました。
Welcome back. Time for a break. The other staff members looked about ready to take breaks of their own and had taken seats at HQ to relax.
いいっす。まあ30分後には午後の部の準備で戻るんすけどね。
How's the outdoor stage doing?
いやー、楽しいっす。野外ステージの司会を任せてくれた部長には感謝しかないっす。
Oh yeah, but has Hibiki not visited the stage?
あ、来たっすよ。観客さん、炎天下で暑いしずっと見てるのは辛いだろうなって思ってたんすけどね。小日向先輩がいきなりパラソル配り出して、さらに水とかアイスの注文販売を始めたんすよ。おかげで客席は一休みしたい人で埋まってるっす。かなり盛り上がってるっすよ。
I'm glad to hear that.
ただ青春シャウトに出演予定の人が一人ドタキャンしちゃったんす。思ってたより人が多くて無理かもってことで。
What's the plan to handle that?
小日向先輩に相談したら、分かった、なんとかするって言ってたんで、お任せ状態っすね。まあ小日向先輩だから心配はしてないっす。
I told her to let me know if anything came up too. She was trying to take on too much all by herself.
柊さんはステージの撮影でしたよね。撮影の方はどうですか？聖さんの MC トークが上手くて驚きました。ただいじり芸が多いのでコンビを組んだ方がいいかもしれません。マジっすか？いじられ役とペアでデビューがいいってことっすね。遠野先輩、物は相談なんすけど。
No. Denied.
まだ何も言ってないじゃないっすか。
I will absolutely pass on forming a duo with you.
そんな絶対相性いいっすよ。相方になってくださいよ、いじられ芸人の遠野先輩。
Who are you calling a heckled comedian? Being heckled by Hijiri in front of a camera would be pure torture. I hate standing out more than anything.
いやよいやよも好きのうちって言うじゃないっすか。
Hey, let go of me. It's too hot for that. I threw Hijiri off after she wrapped her arm around my neck.
あんたたち何イチャついてるの？お、カイドウ先輩お疲れ様っす。さすがに昼過ぎになると暑いわね。
Are you taking a break too?
ちょっと休んだらまた見回りしてくる。
And what happened to the staff member who collapsed from heat stroke?
今保健室で寝てるわよ。ただお客さんの中にも熱中症っぽい人がいてね。無理を言って保健の先生に来てもらったわ。
Really? I'm surprised they came.
呼んだのはもちろん響よ。あの子人たらしよね。本当そういうことには天賦の才があると思う。
I believed it was one of her more incredible abilities.
あ、自分ちょっと思ったんすけど、もし小日向先輩が男だったら優しくてかっこよくて頼りがいがあってめっちゃいいと思いません？ああ、確かに響っていい男だよね。気も利きますし、多少強引ですけどぐいぐい引っ張ってくれて最高ですよね。私も小日向先輩が男性だったら惹かれると思います。ここにいる全員小日向先輩に食われちゃうっすね。小日向響ハーレムエンド確定っす。
See, the problem with with this line of thinking is that all of these girls date you, including Hibiki and Ritsu. So, are they saying that you is the male Hibiki? without the extrovertedness.
やめなさいって。それに引き換え遠野先輩と来たら。
Hey, stop that. Don't compare us. It'll just make me feel pathetic, especially since you actually do date him. Yeah, compared to Hibiki, I fell short all around, but I had pride too.
まあでも遠野くんがダメってことはないですよ。遠野先輩には遠野先輩のいいところがあると思います。自分も遠野先輩は別の意味で好きっすよ。
Really?
いじられ芸人としては優秀っす。
Alright, you want to take this out back of the gym real quick?
告白されちゃうっす。遠野、大人げないわよ。
No, she's not taking her upperclassmen seriously, so I'm going to whip her into shape.
言いたいことがあるならみんなの前で言った方がいいと思います。そうっすよ、そうっすよ。
Hijiri was getting swept up in the moment, and I wanted to teach her what happens when she makes fun of an upperclassman. Hey, Hijiri. I grabbed her firmly by both shoulders.
なんすか？
I like you. I want you to be my first mistress.
いやいやいや、何言ってるんすか？
She was confused and overwhelmed.
マジっすか？
Yeah, of course.
ごっくり。
I'm kidding. You, my mistress? I'd refused even if you asked me. Even if you asked me. You lost your nerve, right, idiot?
遠野先輩のくせにブラフとか生意気っすよ。
That felt great.
あれ？
And Kashima was looking over toward the school gate.
今のって響さん？
No. You didn't hear
やっ
that.
と片付いたわね。
It was 2 in the afternoon and well past lunchtime by the time I finished putting out fires.
そろそろみんなが休憩に入る時間か。ジュース買っていってあげようかな。
They probably bought their own already, though. Maybe I should just buy one for you. Hey, Hijiri. Who would have guessed that she would show up exactly when you was quote unquote confessing to Kika, and she's gonna leave right before he says he's kidding. I like you. I had to put on the Riz voice. I want you to be my first mistress.
いやいやいや、何言ってるんすか？
For a moment, I was startled.
マジっすか？
Yeah, of course. You gotta bite your lower lip. Never mind.
ごっくり。
I'm kidding. You, my mistress? I'd refuse even if you asked me. Oh,
知ってる。
I see.
だってユウ、あんたは私の恋人だもんね。
Subverting expectations, huh? It's not the case of the character misunderstood because they joined into the conversation at the worst time and left at the worst time possible. I didn't mean to press that.
わかってる。わかってる。
There it was again. The gloom in my heart was growing larger. I knew perfectly well. You wasn't the sort of person to cheat or to have mistresses.
そうよ。私があんたとどれだけ一緒にいたと思っているの？
I trusted you and didn't have a shred of doubt in him. But then, why did I feel this way? Why were my thoughts a mess, picturing things I didn't need to see?
ああ、もう、もう。
I fled from the scene. She had a very... all of that was condensed into like a few seconds because right after you was like, I'm just kidding, I would never be your girlfriend. He turns to look in Hibiki's direction a few seconds later and she's gone.
何よ、何なのよ、この気持ちは。
Like, including that she had to run far enough away that she wouldn't be in his peripheral vision. I gritted my teeth and ran. I couldn't control my own emotions. This had never happened before. Just like that, I ran at top speed. Before I knew it, I was at the school gate.
もう、何よ、まったく。
I was out of breath, and my mind was in a daze. I violently opened the drink I had bought for you, and poured it down my throat. I breathed heavily and recalled memories of the old days as my consciousness began to fade. Apparently it was the drink that makes you lose your vision. Back in the time where you drowned in the ocean and I heard he was unconscious. I feverishly ran all the way to the coast, pushed through the adults and stood at Yu's side. His face was pale and he laid there limp.
嘘でしょ。ねえ、言うってば。
お嬢ちゃん下がってて。
うるさい、うるさい。言うは私が助けるの。
I clung to him and made sure the adults knew I was serious.
いや、もう彼は息をしていないんだ。
嘘よ。それじゃあ、
I peeked at his face.
起きて。ねえ、起きてよ、ユウ。あんた言ったじゃない。私を守れるようになるって。私と釣り合う男になって。誓うって。私と結婚するって言ったじゃない。
Even as I shouted into his ear, he didn't move.
なのに、こんなのってないよ。ねえ、ユウ。あの時の約束はどうなるの？死んじゃったら、もう何もできないよ。もう一緒に遊べないし、楽しいこともできない。大人になることも、結婚することだって。
I couldn't say anything further. The tears just kept on spilling out one after another.
お願い、神様、ユウを返して。私のユウを返してよ。
I prayed to the Torii gate that floated in the ocean.
贅沢は言わない。ただユウが生きて帰ってくるだけでいいから。結婚なんてできなくてもいい。ただユウが生きていてくれれば、それでいいから。
Even if that meant we couldn't be together as husband and wife. I didn't care. So,
返してくれたら、私がユウを守る。絶対こんなことにならないように。 私が何でもするから。私がユウを幸せにしてみせるから。だから、お願い。ユウを返してよ。
I screamed my heart out, and at that moment, the ocean seemed to sparkle. And at the same time, Yu's body moved slightly.
まだ息があるぞ。心配させ。急げ。
The rescue workers quickly performed CPR. I prayed that Yu would be saved. Time seemed to pass in a daze as I prayed. And Yu began to breathe again. Hey, Hibiki.
何よ。
Is it really okay for us to run away from home? That night in the house we'd claimed as our own on the beach. You and I had run away from home. My parents hadn't considered how I felt about moving and changing schools.
言ったでしょ。 ここには私の大切なものがあるの。だから転校なんて絶対に認めない。
If I changed schools, I couldn't be with you anymore. I wouldn't let that happen. After all, I had sworn to God that I would protect you, that I would do anything to keep him out of danger, that I would make sure he found happiness. And God had granted my wish. That meant I had a responsibility. I had to stay by Yu's side and protect him. I had a responsibility to watch over you so he could live a fun, happy life. In the end, I wound up moving with my parents. I was still fairly young at the time, and didn't have the wisdom or capabilities to act on my own opinions. It was frustrating, which was why I worked hard to become stronger. I had made up my mind to become a hero for Yu's sake.
そうよ。私はヒーローなんだから。
So I would never whine. I had to be the fun, cheerful, energetic girl to push you further. I couldn't waver. If I did, it would make you uneasy. I couldn't feel jealousy or dissatisfaction. I couldn't let you perceive any of those emotions. I wouldn't do anything if you would survive. I would do anything if you would survive and be happy for me. That was what I had said to God. I was my usual lively, positive, and overwhelmingly energetic self. That's who Koinada Hibiki was. The superhero that would save you. Hibiki man, excuse me?
だから、私は。
Heroes never cried in front of others. They couldn't let people see their weak side, no matter how painful or distressing things got. I couldn't be swept away by these ugly emotions that bottled up inside me. I absolutely couldn't give in to myself.
ヒーローは誰にも絶対に負けちゃいけないだから。
But emotions that I had to acknowledge were becoming jumbled around in my heart.
ねえ、私、もしかしてすっごい雑な女だと思われてる？
There are people who get things done on a large scale, and then there are those who take on smaller tasks and do them at a slow and steady pace. The world needs both.
なるほどね。だったら私はでかく動かしたいわ。
I'm sure you do.
でもユウが忙しくて大変なのに何もできないっていうのはもどかしいわね。ねえユウ、もっと私を頼りにしてよ。そんなに私って役に立たない？
Didn't you also say that people should just do what they're best suited for? I rely on you plenty for help with the bigger things. Those were the only times he would rely on me. Any other time I was messy, obnoxious, and overwhelming to have around. At least she's aware of it.
ねえユウ、まだ終わらないの？
Collaboration and conversation is ongoing between all sorts of people up until the day of the event, and I'm sure it'll stay that way until it's over.
じゃあ私とのデートは？
Be patient.
しょんぼり。ユウってさ、私がいなくても全然平気だよね。私は毎日でもユウと一緒にいたいのに。
No, we are together every day.
それは私が会いに来てるからでしょ？
I visited him because I wanted to be with you all the time. But you had never said he wanted to see me even once.
結局、全部私の独りよがりなのかな。
The hot droplets spilled without end. I couldn't let anyone see me be weak and shedding tears, but I couldn't stop them from running down my cheeks. A time I felt afraid had unexpectedly come. The time I had spent with you was irreplaceable, like a treasure, but you didn't feel the same way, did he? And if that was if that were true, then I...
あらあら、どうしたの？響さん。
I heard a voice and quickly turned around to find...
はい、どうぞ。
Kakenuke gently handed me a handkerchief.
キクコさん、ありがとう。
どうしたの？何かあったの？
なんでもないの。ちょっと感情が高ぶっちゃって。
It was careless of me to be seen by someone I knew. I needed to set those thoughts aside and fast.
何か辛いことがあったのね。
え？
あなたのように強い人が涙を流すなんてよほどのことでしょう。もしよかったら私に話してくれないかしら。響さんにはいっぱいお世話になったから何かお返しできないかとずっと思っていたの。
でも
今見たことも聞いたことも誰にも言わない。年寄りのわがままだと思って何か思うことがあるなら話してみてください。
キクコさん。
Ordinarily, I may have replied with a carefree laugh and told her everything was fine. But I couldn't do that right now.
私、本当は嫌な女なの。
Okay, well, I wouldn't say awful. There are other words I would describe you, but, you know, not that harsh. I relayed all of the stagnant emotions welling up inside me. She smiled calmly and listened as I poured my heart out.
ありがとうね、響さん。私に話をしてくれて。
軽蔑したでしょ。
いいえ。あなたはとても素敵ですよ。
こんな嫌なことを考える人間が素敵なわけないじゃない。
あなたが感じた気持ちは人間なら誰もが持っているものよ。それらの感情を抱かずに生きていける人間なんてこの世のどこにもいません。
でも
人は誰でも弱い部分を持っているものなの。だからね、たまには弱音を吐いてもいいのよ、響さん。
キクコさん。
When I heard Kikuko's mild-mannered voice, it was like my messy feelings welling up inside my heart were slowly dissipating.
響さん、あなたには将来を誓い合った男性がいるんでしょ。そして彼とのことで悩んでいるのよね。私も夫がいるのだけれど、夫婦というのは互いに支え合わないといけないの。片方がもう片方に支えられっぱなしじゃうまくいかないんです。だからね、響さん、もし自分が弱っているときは相手に支えてもらいなさい。今まであなたが頑張って支えてきた分、甘えさせてもらいなさい。
でもそんなことしたら嫌われない？
あなたが弱っている時にそれを受け止める度量のない男なんてあなたにはふさわしくないわ。あなたの見初めた男性はそんなに弱い人なの？
ユウはそんな人じゃない。
だったら彼を信じなさい。信じて彼に支えてもらいなさい。そうして彼があなたの支えを必要とするときには全力で支えてあげればいいの。それが夫婦というものです。
それが夫婦。
It was like I had seen the light.
そっか。甘えてもいいのかな。
彼があなたの思う通りの人ならきっと彼もそれを望んでいるはずよ。
You wanted me to rely on him too? Really? I didn't know, but...
信じてみる。
Relying on you wasn't like me at all. But if it were a choice between a you that would support me when I was at a loss and one who wouldn't, I hoped he would be the you who would support me, so I would trust him.
ありがとう、キクコさん。
I'm glad that she's finally changing. Is this Hibiki's character arc? All the way at the end of the round? I mean, not all the way, but very close to what will be the end of the round.
もう大丈夫よ。なんかいろいろ吹っ切れたかも。
響さんのお役に立てたならよかったわ。長く生きてた甲斐がありました。
何言ってるの。もっともっと長生きしてよ。
I checked my phone when it started to ring. Kakenuke had messaged me on Lin regarding filling the vacancy in the youth shut off. It had been more than half an hour since the first question came in, and multiple people had sent several follow-up questions since.
やば、忘れてた。ごめん、キクコさん。後で必ずお礼するから。
いいのよ。いってらっしゃい、響さん。
I wiped my tears away with my t-shirt and ran off at full speed. I'm going to depend on you with all my strength. So, please. I hope you'll accept me. Hibiki's not responding. There was a vacancy at the youth shout-off, and according to Hijiri, Hibiki was nowhere to be found. Nearly half an hour had already passed since then. I tried to get in touch with her multiple times over Lin and by phone, but my attempts to reach her had gone unanswered.
大丈夫でしょうか、響さん。
I can't imagine Hibiki would abandon the festival to go off somewhere. Well, she did go off somewhere. It's just, she didn't leave the campus, so she technically didn't abandon the festival. Ritsu is searching the venue as we speak. Let's wait to hear what she says. What was Hibiki doing, and where? I hoped nothing had happened to her. I heard cheers off in the distance, followed by someone shouting through the speakers.
野外ステージ盛り上がってるわね。
If all was going accordingly with the program, then the youth shout-off should have been underway about now.
青春シャウト、欠員が出たと言ってましたけど、大丈夫でしょうか。まあ、そん時は自分が何とかするっす。司会進行として腕の見せ所っすね。とかひじりが言ってたから大丈夫だと思うけど。あ、今のすごくひじりさんっぽいです。カイドウ先輩、モノマネがうまいんですね。そうかな。
Try to imitate Hibiki next.
みんな、この夏は一度きりよ。青春しなさい。こんな感じそっくりですね。
It sounds too tense for Hibiki.
さすが恋人。毎日一緒にいるトーノには通じないか。
While they chatted amongst themselves,
大変お兄ちゃん大変だよ。
Ritsu rushed in the HQ tent. What's up?
響ちゃんが。
Don't tell me. Did something happen to Hibiki? Is she on stage right now? Awful mental images crossed my mind.
落ち着いて聞いて、お兄ちゃん。
Okay.
実はね、青春シャウトの途中で響ちゃんが野外ステージに乱入してきたの。
I fucking called it. Huh? What is she doing?
どういうことなの？私は途中までしか見てないんですけど、どうやら響ちゃんも青春シャウトに参加するみたいです。でも響さん、前に自分は参加しないとか言ってませんでしたっけ？
Maybe she decided to cover the vacant slot. Even if that was the case, what in the world was she thinking? First radio silence, then budging in on an event?
それでね、ひじりさんがお兄ちゃんを呼んできてって言うから戻ってきたの。
Why call for me?
さあ、理由は聞かなかったけど。
Because if you aren't there, then the game can't give you the last CG of her route.
とにかく行こうよ。 響ちゃんが舞台に立つんだし。
I sighed and shook my head. Hibiki left me in charge of HQ. I can't leave. Hibiki was safe. No problem there, right? I had envisioned several terrifying scenarios, including one where she had collapsed from heat stroke and had been carried to the nurse's office. Well, that's definitely furthest away from NTR that I could have imagined. It was a relief to hear what was not the case. That was not the case. Good job, Ritsu. Why don't you take a short break?
お兄ちゃん行かないの？
I could more or less imagine what Hijiri is trying to accomplish. Now that Hibiki is in the youth shout-off, she's going to try and heckle me like crazy and say things like, "Your lover boy came to get you."
しょうがないよ。お兄ちゃんはいじられ芸人なんだから。
Hey, little sister, value your brother's pride, especially since you're going to be dating him eventually.
でもひじりさんは絶対に連れてくるようにって。
Not interested. I'd rather not be made fun of in front of an audience. The moment I said that, I heard a noticeably loud shout. Well, it looks like you don't have a choice. Great, I finished my sentence right as they stopped clapping. Fuck you. I heard Hibiki's voice. That sounded like it would reach as far as Kazumi's ocean. Could you, like, do it in private? You know? Like a lot of other things that you should have kept private, but instead decided to share with the rest of the club? I'm still pissed off about that scene, by the way, if you couldn't tell.
それでは青春シャウト最後の出場者っす。彼女はなんとこの風見フェスの立案をした我らが青春部の部長さんっす。部長がいなかったら風見フェスは間違いなく開催されてなかったでしょう。まさに本日の主役にして立役者。そんな彼女の青春の雄たけび聞かせていただきましょう。小日向響さんっす。
With Kika's introduction, I stood at center stage. My heartbeat felt awfully loud, and my hands were trembling. I had been actively avoiding this very thing from happening. All of the feelings and emotions I had pushed away or buried deep down in my heart were quickly rising to the surface. But I had made up my mind. I decided to trust you, so I couldn't run away anymore.
最初に言っておくと、今から私が叫ぶことはすごく個人的なことよ。青春部の部長としてとか、学園の生徒を代表してとか、そんな大きなことじゃない。私の小日向響のごく個人的なこと。今までずっと自分の中にしまっておいたものをみんなの前で言おうと思ってる。だから聞いてる人はあんまり面白くないかもね。わがままに聞こえたり、独りよがりに聞こえたりすると思う。それは当然よ。私だって分かってる。分かってるから誰にも言わないで自分の中にしまっておいた。そうやって弱い自分を隠してきたの。でもね、そういうことをみんなの前で吐き出すのが青春シャウトって企画だから、私の弱いとこも汚いとこも恥ずかしいとこも全部みんなの前にさらけ出すわ。だから聞いて、お願い。
I shouted especially loud. Perfect. This had lit a fire under me to go for it. With their cheers on my back, I took in a deep breath.
どうの言う？私はあなたに言いたいことがあります。
I pushed my voice to its limit to reach you, even though there were speakers, so that they should have also been able to hear all of that shit from HQ. I shouted as loud as I could.
どうの言うは私の恋人よ。小学生の頃からの幼馴染で、この夏やっと思いを伝えて言うと恋人になれました。すっごく嬉しいです。でも 私もともと甘えるのとか下手だからよくわかんなくて、こんな方法しか取れなくてごめん。でもユウ、どうしてもあんたに言っておきたいことがあるの。
それはなーに？
もっと私に好きって言ってよー。当のユウ、私はあんたのことが好きよ。大好き。世界で一番あんたのことを愛してる。あんたの幸せが私の幸せなの。あんたがいないと私の幸せなんて成り立たないの。それくらいあんたが好きなのよユウ。なのにあんたはどうして好きって言ってくれないの？あんたが私のことを好きでいてくれてることくらい分かってるわよ。でもね、私だって女の子なの。ちゃんと口にしてくれなきゃ、目の前で言ってくれなきゃ不安になるの。ねえユウ、私にとってあんたは一番よ。でもあんたはどうなの？本当に私が一番なの？私はね、ユウ、あんたにとっての一番でいたいの。私だけを見てほしいの。もっと私を見てよ。私だけを見ててよ。たまには他の子を見てもいい。でもそれ以上に私を見てよ。私のことをもっともっと好きになってよ。あんたが他の子に気があるかもって思ったら胸が苦しくって不安でたまらなくて、たったそれだけのことで一晩中眠れないんだから。私の気持ちに気づいてほしいなんて言わない。めんどくさい子にはなりたくないから。だから私は元気で明るくて暑苦しい子でい続ける。これからもずっとそうするつもりよ。ユウ、あんたは私を気遣ったりしなくていいの。だからせめて毎日好きって言ってよ。私のこと大事だって言ってよ。お前が一番だって私の目を見て言ってよ。
This scene has the same amount of grace and poise as a public engagement. You've ever seen those videos where the guy would set up like this big thing just to propose to someone in public, right? And just like in this scene, sure, I'm sure Hibiki, just like those guys in those videos, sees this as like a cute thing that to do, right? You know, do this whole fucking rigmarole where you fucking pour your heart out in front of all these people, right? At least in those fucking videos, it just happens to be in public and it's not an entire fucking event where you shout to the audience about what you want you to do, because just like in those videos, it puts pressure on the other person. So they have to act. And for someone like you, who, regardless of the fact that he's a waiter, doesn't change the fact that he's an introvert, forces him to, how do I say this? Do something so utterly embarrassing. I don't even know how to say it. I just wouldn't respond. If I was in your situation and my girlfriend which, mind you, would never be Hibiki, but if I did date someone like Hibiki and she did all of this, I would not encourage this sort of action. Alright? I would not respond, especially since my relationship with the other person should be private, and my significant other, which would be Hibiki in this situation, should respect that I want to keep it private. I don't want to announce to everyone at a fucking festival that I love my girlfriend and am dating her, because she's feeling slightly insecure about how little I say I love her. So, fuck you, Hibiki. Why are you forcing you to do this? My eyes become glossy as I shouted.
もっと私に会いたいって言ってよ。私は毎日ユウに会いたくてたまらないのに、少しでも1分1秒でもユウと一緒にいる時間を増やしたいって思ってるのに、もっと私を求めてよ。必要だと思ってよ。ユウが頼りにしてくれたら、どれだけ辛いことだって楽しくなるのに、ユウの役に立てるなら、それだけで生きててよかったって思えるくらい嬉しいのに。ねえユウ、私はあんたじゃなきゃダメなの。私はユウしか見えないの。私の恋人はユウ。あんたしかいないの。ユウの代わりなんて世界中のどこを探したって絶対にどこにもいないんだから。だからこんなことを口に出して言うのはこれが最初で最後だから。だからお願い、私がユウを好きなのと同じくらい私のことを愛してよ。私のことを見て、私だけを見て愛してるって言ってよ。
I can say that in private. I don't want to say it in front of all of these fucking people, alright? I pushed my voice to its limit and shouted. Thought something's blurred my vision. And all the while a single figure ran up to the stage. That was the one and only person in the whole world. The person who was irreplaceable to me. It was you. Sorry I kept you waiting. I couldn't help but rush to her side when I heard Hibiki's cries.
おーっと、ここで九段の彼氏、遠野優さんの登場っす。小日向先輩のシャウト聞いてたっすよね。
Yeah, of course. You cranked up the volume just for Hibiki. Everyone heard it all across the venue.
さーて、何のことっすかね。
Okay, you know what? No, I wouldn't discourage her actions, but I wouldn't... if I was Hibiki's boyfriend and Hibiki did this in front of everyone, I would, one, take her off stage, right? Because I would rather not... How do I say? There are a few problems here. Alright, one, okay, let's say you does do all of the things, say all of the things that Hibiki wants him to say. It can go either one of two ways. One, it's cute, or two, it seems forced out of you because Hibiki did all of this in front of a bunch of fucking people, and, well, you kinda seem like an asshole if you don't reciprocate her feelings after she did all of this for you. You see? Second, you is an introverted person. Alright? I don't care how much you scream your lungs out in front of all these people. You would you wouldn't, how do I say, this is the worst thing, because I don't know if my opinion on Hibiki is not subjective. Of course it's subjective, but my opinion on Hibiki is in the minority, right? Because I understand that there are guys who like this kind of character, right? I do too, when they're written well. Unfortunately, Hibiki as a character just does not know how to compromise in anything, right? She is forcing you to change while not doing the same herself, right? She isn't asking. She literally had that whole fucking flashback, and it's like, I regret, and is like, my parents didn't ask for my opinion on whether or not I wanted to move out and go to a different school, right? But Hibiki literally does the same fucking thing, where she doesn't ask if you wants to do any of this shit. He literally doesn't want. It was all throughout the fucking comma round, where he doesn't want to join the active. He doesn't want to join active. He doesn't want to join negative. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. The only reason he did anything is because he was forced to, because if he didn't do anything, he wouldn't be able to get his scholarship, which means that he wouldn't be able to go to Kazumi Academy, which means that the whole plan of Hibiki and you, of Hibiki wanting to go be back with you, would never work out, because guess what, fucko? He doesn't have the fucking money to go to Kazumi Academy without the scholarship. And it's the whole fucking reason why I was so annoyed by Hibiki, because her whole thing is, you should be enjoying your youth instead of working for that money that you need so much. Sure, is you also in the wrong for certain things? Yes. I can understand that he, as a character, needs to fucking swallow his pride and accept and join fucking the headmaster's family, or whatever the fuck is her plan. If that's ever going to happen, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna happen in Kika's route. But you know, a lot of other things in the common route are very justified, like how he needs to work a lot, or else he won't have enough money to support him and his sister. Because while the school may be funded through the scholarship, while his tuition may be funded through the scholarship, everything else needs to be paid off with money, like bills, like groceries, like amenities, like other things. Bills and amenities kind of go hand in hand, but essentials I'm specifying, right? And it's like, so Hibiki's whole thing is like, don't work, enjoy your youth. So that means that she doesn't want you to make any money, which means that he wouldn't be able to support himself. Very fucking easy for her to say, considering that she's rich, and so is everyone else in this that goes to this fucking school, apparently, other than other people who also get the scholarship. But you know, that's beside the point. It's just, not only in the common route, but even in Hibiki's route, you know, the route where I'm meant to like the character. You know, it's the route where, okay, maybe you didn't like the character that much in the common route. We'll redeem her. Don't worry. We'll redeem her in her route, because that's the whole point of her route, is that it's to make a good story so that she's a likable character. And if there are any problems that show up in the common route, we will redeem them for you, so that she can go through a character arc and she will become more likable. You know where that was done really well? It was fucking Sakura. Sakura from Master Magistrate went from bottom of the barrel, fucking F tier, 99th place, right? She was so fucking bad in the common route. But unlike in this game, the writers are fully aware of how shit of a character Sakura was, and she grew, and she, even in the common route, right? She became such a good character, and it was reinforced even more in her route. She was such a good character, right? She went from last place to, what was it, second, right? Second or third, and it just goes to show that the writers don't see what Hibiki is doing as a problem. What the writers see Hibiki doing as a problem, what the writers deem as a problem of Hibiki's character, is that she isn't expressing her real emotions in front of you because she wants to be seen as a hero to him. But, you know, like I said, she didn't ask about you. She didn't ask you's opinion on that, right? And I can guarantee that you wouldn't want Hibiki to hide her emotions in front of him because he loves her, right? He doesn't. He wants to see her, the real her, not the superhero that other people might see. And that's that whole tangent is the whole tangent I'm going on is my main problem here. And it's very subjective to me, and I understand that, but Hibiki has finally realized that she can no longer hold back her emotions, and now she wants to be and now she wants you to help her, right? But what I would have much preferred is if she did this in fucking private. Alright? I wanted their heart-to-heart to be in private, because Hibiki can have both things, right? Hibiki can still act as the superhero that she wants in front of other people, right? But she can also be herself in front of you, right? She can be the superhero in front of strangers and be that and be herself in front of her friends, right? But she isn't doing that. She isn't. She's shouting at the top of her lungs that at everyone as to who she really is, right? I mean, like, not everything, but she literally went on a whole spiel before she shouted at the top of her lungs about what she wants you to do with her, except for the whole fucking thing about how she's been, you know, holding back her emotions and shit like that, right? And I really would have preferred if that was private, because I'm sure that most of the people in the audience don't want to know about all of this, alright? regardless of the fact that they might care about Hibiki, and that's the whole reason they're doing this, right? Here's the other thing. If Hibiki was not the one who planned out this whole event, it would be a lot more cringe, right? It would be a lot more fucking embarrassing, because now it's like, oh, Hibiki, the stranger, is coming up on stage and screaming her heart out in front of all of these people, in front of all of these other strangers that she doesn't know of, and none of the people in the audience know of her, right? And I mean, you know, I've seen videos like that, and they're cringe as fuck. And I'm glad at least that it isn't that bad, but you know. You understand my point, right? I know that it's personal, I guess, especially that last part, but still, am I not meant to think that I am the fucking the self-insert, right? Am I not meant to think that I am role-playing as you? So I would prefer for Hibiki to do things that wouldn't embarrass me, right, as you. But, oh, whatever. Maybe I should have given up on that maybe I should have given up on that option when she told all of her friends that they had sex right after she confessed to him. This woman was a fiend by nature. Hibiki was crying her eyes out on stage. She really was easily moved to tears.
小日向響さんの心の叫び、青春シャウトを聞いてたってことで、ここでお尋ねするっす。彼女さんにここまで言わせておいて、だんまりはないっすよね。何か返してあげなきゃいけないんじゃないっすか？会場の皆さんもそう思うっすよね。もちろんだ！ということで、当のユウさん、恋人の響さんに何か言いたいことがあれば、どうぞステージにお上がりください。
The audience cheered and jeered to get up there and do it. You set me up good, Hijiri.
まあまあいいじゃないっすか。
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you said. What did you say? I was kind of, you know, that's not what I meant to press. You know, you kind of drowned out by the sound of the applause.
まあまあいいじゃないっすか。先輩も一緒に青春しましょうよ。
It ticked me off how amused she sounded. But I couldn't back down. No matter what happened, I couldn't afford to run away. Yeesh. You've got me over a barrel here. What is that expression? This didn't fit my personality, but I had no choice but to do it. Even the writers are aware that you isn't the type to do this. And once again, he's being forced to do something he doesn't want to do. Just to please his girlfriend. What the fuck? If I didn't reciprocate Hibiki's feelings now, I knew I would regret it for the rest of my life. Even if God might forgive me, that was the one thing I wouldn't forgive myself. Forgive of myself. If I was forced to do this, at least make it so I don't have to speak it into the microphone. All right, give me one thing at least, okay? Of course he's speaking into the microphone. He isn't even looking at Hibiki. He isn't even looking at Hibiki. Why are you looking at the fucking... Why is he looking at the audience? And I know it might be in the fucking... It might be because of the CG, but still. I braced myself and got up on stage. I took the mic from Hijiri and gazed into Hibiki's misty eyes. Okay, good. So why didn't the artist, I don't know, draw it so that you're facing Hibiki instead of very clearly having you face the audience. First and foremost, I'm so sorry. I thought I understood how you felt, Hibiki. I've watched you ever since elementary school, but you've never once complained. You were always a confident, stubborn, self-assertive girl who did what she wanted to do no matter what. You were eager to make everything a contest, and can be brash when you lose and take up any challenge until you win. I thought of you as extremely competitive, but that's not all you are, huh? No one is strong all the time, after all. You wanted to be a strong and reliable person for me to make up for my shortcomings, right? You were trying to be a hero for me, weren't you? You did all of that for me, yet I never noticed. I was convinced you were a strong person from the start, so I turned a blind eye to it. I figured it out somewhere along the way, but I didn't act on it until today, until you voiced your complaints to me. You could have also... He would have... Listen, Hibiki, he would have also realized if you said this all in private. I'm sorry I'm such a hopeless guy. And that's why, to apologize, I'll tell you what I've always been thinking about you right here and now. This will be the first and last time I say something so embarrassing, okay? Listen very closely. I took in a deep breath and raised my voice as loud as it could go. Kohinata Hibiki, I love you more than anyone else in the world. You transferred schools to come here for me. We even created a club to drag me out of my seclusion. You're as good-natured as a person as they come. But what do you mean, but? Where's the what? Thank you so much for going to such lengths for a guy like me, Hibiki. Hang on a minute. You said you're a good-natured person as they come. Okay? Which means that you need to... and then you say but, which means that your next sentence should follow up with a... what's the word? A retort? Something like that. It's like, you're a good-natured person. You're as good-natured of a person as they come, but you can be so-and-so, right? What do you mean? Thank you so much for going to such great lengths for a guy like me. Where's the but? What was the point of the but? You could have gotten rid of that line and nothing would have changed. You know this girl, Hibiki, climbs all the way up the hills to my house practically every day because she wants to see me. She hasn't complained, not even once, even in the stinking heat. When I was bedridden with a cold, she rushed over to see me on the same day. I've never gone to visit her even once, and even I think I'm truly lost cause. He does bring up a fair point. He should visit her at least once, you know? So much so that a girl this wonderful is wasted on me. And despite it all, thank you so much for loving someone like me, Hibiki. In the middle of our date, a bunch of guys started hitting on her. Why are you bringing this up? This has nothing to do with what she wants for you to say. I called those guys out, and they made fun of you and made fun of me, calling me scrawny and whatnot. And when they did, Hibiki majorly lost her temper. She said something in front of a huge group of people. She said I was the best boyfriend, hundreds of thousands of times better than those guys. Hibiki said it loud enough that everyone knew that no man could compare to me. Hey, could there be any greater of a girlfriend than her? Well, I'm not gonna show the list, but if you've already seen the list, you should know that, yes, there are. Quite a few, in fact. I'm truly happy that you have such a high opinion of me. Thank you, Hibiki. Hibiki, I love you. I love you more than anyone in the world. I've never wanted to make any girl other than you my girlfriend, except for the fact that Shiori was your first girlfriend, but we don't need to talk about that. You're the only one who's special to me. Hibiki, from now on, I'll tell you I love you every day. I'll come to see you every day. I'll treasure you. I'll tell you you're my number one as many times as it takes for you to not feel insecure. Maybe, sometimes I won't be able to go to your house because I've got some, I've got work, or I'm a bit busy with like studying and shit, but I'll try to make some time at least. But if you're expecting me to go every day, you're tough out of luck with that one. I didn't mean to press that. And that's why, Hibiki, I have a request to ask of you too. Hibiki, you hold back too much. When you feel uneasy, tell me. When you're hurt, rely on me more. When you're at a loss, depend on me more. I was really unreliable when I was younger, but look at how much I've grown. You're still as passive of a character as you were when you were younger. So, as much as I've complained a lot about Hibiki's character, there are a lot of other things I can say about you. You. Get it? So listen, don't carry everything by yourself. Let me support you too. I can support you just like you supported me. You're the most important person in the world to me. The person I love most. I want to support you through it all. Through it all! I put all my feelings into my battle cry, except that you never faced Hibiki once in the CG. And the fact that it's never explicitly stated that he faces the audience. There is no reason for the CG to have him face the audience. Once. Alright? I understand that they're gonna have they're only gonna make one CG of you on the stage with Hibiki and Kika, but that CG should have you facing Hibiki, not the fucking audience. The excitement in the venue had reached a climax, with cheers coming from all directions. You did it again, Kika. Maybe speak louder. I didn't mean to. That was the wrong one. Sure. What's the question?
それでは、当のゆうくん、小日向響ちゃん、ここに並んで誓いの儀式を始めます。
I was taken aback. This couldn't be what we had done back then.
二人はいい時も悪い時も、止める時も貧しい時も、やめる時も健やかなる時も、共に歩み、死が二人を分かつまで、愛し合い、寄り添うことを誓いますか？
I shared a look with Hibiki, but before I could have any doubts.
はい、誓います。
Hibiki answered with a bright white smile, almost like how she looked back then.
当の先輩は？
I faltered. What should I do? This was terribly embarrassing.
黙ってないで質問に答えてほしいんすけど、愛し合い、寄り添うことを誓いますか？
Huh? I think I do.
こらー!
Fucking Christ, man. I know where they're going with this, right? It's like, oh, marriages are public, right? There shouldn't be What would be the difference between then and this, right? But it's like that's a one-time thing, and they don't have the fucking mic. They're not speaking into fucking microphones when they're listing off their vows and shit, right? So it's like a wedding ceremony is a lot more fucking professional than this whole scene, right? People booed from across the venue.
思うって何よこのバカ言う
Listen, Hibiki, if you wanted a more fucking... If you wanted you to be more definitive in his response, maybe you should have done this in private.
大一番の舞台でくらいビシッと決めなさいよねそうっすよどんだけヘタレなんすか
Way to put even more pressure on you. You already put enough... You already put way too much pressure on him when you came up to the stage the first time around, and now you're putting even more pressure on him.
もうあんたって人はもう小学生の頃から全然変わってないじゃない本当にしょうがないわね言うわ
As she said it, Hibiki laughed with tears in her eyes.
言うがそんなんじゃ甘えたくても甘えられないでしょ
Come on. I'm sorry. Let me try it one more time.
はいはい続きは楽屋でどうぞっす
Yeah, let me embarrass myself even more.
ということで青春部主催青春シャウトでした
Like so. The Kazumi Festival and Youth Shout-Off came to a grand finale amid excited cheers and applause from the entire audience. Hibiki and I were both exhausted, and we fell flat over a heavy heap. We were tasked with dismantling everything following the official end of the Kazumi Festival. It was finally over. You were putting up a strong front this whole time, weren't you?
当たり前でしょ私だって普通の女の子なんだからね
No, you're not ordinary.
あんたねそういうこと言うとまた泣くわよ
Well, then maybe be more ordinary. Could you hold off on that, at least until tomorrow?
そうね今はもう泣く元気ないかも
The other youth collective members were practically lifeless husks themselves, and we sent them home ahead of us. When I checked the clock, it was around 9 p.m. It was 7:30 p.m. for me. Alright, let's lock up the club room and head home ourselves.
そうね
Despite what she said, Hibiki showed no signs of standing. What's up?
なんか物足りないなって
Hey, what would we have possibly missed after putting on such an elaborate festival? How much youth do you have to enjoy before you're satisfied?
違うってばそういうのじゃなくてほらわかるでしょ
No, not at all.
愛が足りないの愛がほら青春シャウトで好きとか愛してるとかいっぱい言ってくれたでしょだからその足りないわけ
Do you want me to yell all that stuff again?
本当にもユウはニブチンなんだからユウと触れ合いたいの簡単に言えばムラムラしてるのユウとエッチなことしたいの
Really? How much energy do you have exactly? Well, just be glad that she didn't say any of this on stage. Truthfully, I was exhausted. My legs and hips had taken nearly all they could handle, but
ユウが言ってくれたこと、確かめたいの。愛してるって言うなら、愛してよ。私の全部を。ダメ？
we can't do it tomorrow.
さっきユウ、甘えていいって言ったじゃない。
Yeah, I regret that.
甘えさせてよ。甘々にしてよ。
You played that card, huh? I couldn't possibly turn her down now. I mustered my energy and approached Hibiki. You should know, I won't be able to go easy on you.
いっぱい愛して。あたり。
Hibiki flopped onto her side as she spoke. Hey, Hibiki. Don't sleep in the club room, alright? Hibiki had laid back and was snoozing away in nothing but a thin shirt. Hey, hold on, Hibiki. Hey. She fell asleep on me, covered in all sorts of fluids and otherwise. What should I do about this? Brutal. As soon as we finished having sex, Hibiki fell soundly asleep. I gently poked her cheek, but she must have been too tired and showed no signs of waking up. Left with no choice, I cleaned her up with tissues, dressed her, and had walked this far with her on my back. Damn it, she's heavy. Maybe you shouldn't say that while she's, you know, still right next to you. I pushed past my physical limits, and my body was screaming all over. Yes, I'm right here. Man, we have trash and cleanup duty on campus tomorrow. The school is starting back up again the day after tomorrow. Before that, we would be taking part in a major campus-wide cleanup with everyone from the youth collective. Hibiki was snoozing blissfully away against my back. Oh yeah, I guess it's been about a week now. She'd been banned from coming by my place, so I could focus on preparing for the Kazumi festival. You worked really hard, Hibiki. I've been plagued by the same thought since the Kazumi festival. Hibiki, I love you. I'll make sure to say it out loud from now on. I never wanted her to feel uneasy ever again. Hmm?
私はずっとヒーローだからね。
Now hang on a minute. Your entire character arc at the end there was so that you don't be his hero. Hibiki mumbled that softly in her sleep. Hibiki, I don't need a hero anymore. I never needed one though. You were always thinking of me and encouraging me to do better. Even so, I assumed you were being egotistical. Because she was. I thought playing along and accepting her whims was my way of spoiling her. You were definitely encouraging her behavior. That's a better way. That's a better word to use rather than actions. But I was wrong. You can keep being a hero if you want to. But at the end of the day, you're just an ordinary girl when we're together. Except for the fact that everyone now knows that you are playing a hero this whole time. And I mean, I understand that people may see through her, may have seen through her, you know, persona, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't have, you know, had a special moment together in private. Alright? Hibiki Man can be there to help other people in need. When you're with me, I'd like you to be Kohinata Hibiki, but Hibiki Kohinata because because I'm not Japanese. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you now, will I? Hibiki's warm breath tickled the nape of my neck as she slept. It felt so comfortable. I'll try even harder. I'll become someone you can have confidence in, someone you can rely on. You can lean on me when you're tired, except you're too heavy, so lean on me a bit, but like not your full body. And you can come to me when you're in trouble, and I can come in you when I'm in trouble. Never mind. Depend on me more. Hibiki giggled quietly. Are you awake?
どうかな
She nuzzled up closely to me. Did you hear me say you were heavy? I didn't say that.
ユウはね、ちょっと勘違いしてるかも。ユウの言った通り、私は勝ち気で頑固で負けず嫌いなの。それも本当の私。だから使命感とか義務感とか、そういう気持ちだけでヒーローをやってたわけじゃない。
What? Yes, you did. What do you mean? That's what you said to... Never mind.
もともとそういう人間だから、性に合ってるからやってたの。小日向響はヒーローだし、一人の女の子だからね。できれば、どっちの私も愛してほしいな。
Hibiki, maybe you should have watched more hero movies. The reason why heroes wear suits, right? The reason why heroes have an alternate identity from their regular selves is so they can separate the two people, right? Like with Iron Man, you've got the Iron Man and Tony Stark. But here's the thing, right? Iron Man is an exception because he literally reveals himself as Tony Stark, right? You've got Actually, Marvel is not a good example because, like, you think about the most popular Marvel characters, you've got Thor, who is always Thor. You've got Hulk and like Bruce Banner, but like everyone knows Hulk and Bruce Banner are the same person, right? But you know, technically they're different people, and they actually are different people, right? In personality, Captain America is always Captain America. Like, you've got what, Spider-Man, and that's about it. At least with DC, you've got Superman and Clark Kent, Batman and Bruce Wayne, or Wonder Woman, or Green Lantern and Hal. I'm blanking on the name. That guy, Flash and Bruce, not Bruce. I'm one of the many different Flashes, but in the fuck, yeah, in DC, right, or whatever the fuck, right? They have different names, different personas, right? Hibiki was just Hibiki. She didn't wear a mask to differentiate herself from Hibiki. She just stayed Hibiki. And that's the difference between Hibiki Man and a regular other superhero. She didn't separate the worlds. She didn't separate the personas. I don't know. You can be awfully needy when you're being a hero.
ああ、ひどい。愛してくれないの？
There is no way to differentiate Hibiki and Hibiki Man, right? No, I do love you. Your strong side and your weak side. I love both.
ありがとう。
So listen, one a little more often.
頑張る。
You need to put in an effort to whine. You're a troublesome person.
そうね。
We both smiled. Also, let's save stuff like this for when we're alone going forward. I don't want a repeat of the youth shout off.
私はみんなの前でユウに愛してるって言ってほしいな。
Yeah, but he doesn't. All right, please spare me. I'm begging you.
それは言う次第ね。普段から私にいっぱい愛してるって言って満足させてくれれば大丈夫よ。
Alright. Alright. Got it. I'll tell you I love you every day.
ならよし。
Let's assume so. If you're awake, then I'm setting you down.
やだ。今日はユウに甘えさせてもらうんだから。ね。いいでしょユウ。
Fine. Except for the fact that, you know, there's that whole cleanup that they have to do tomorrow. And I couldn't turn it down when she put it that way.
楽ちん楽ちん。さあ、ユン家に帰ったら愛の再確認よ。
You're kidding, right? Don't tell me she wanted even more sex after this.
ねえ、ユウ、甘えさせてよ。
But what about Ritsu? I mean, hey, you're clearly using that as a pretext to get me to do what you want, to do what you say. And the problem is, you know, he already doesn't have a backbone, so you've already been able to get him to do what you say with a little pushing. Now with the pretext, you'll get him to do what you say without having to keep convincing him over and over again.
へへへ。バレた？
You're something else. Hey, get off, get off.
危ないってば。
I tried to shake her off, but Hibiki clung to me tightly.
大好きよ。
Yeah, I love you too, Hibiki. We tangled together in a tight embrace, but she's still on his back. We smiled together under the night sky. Oh yeah, I forgot it's fucking loud as shit. It's the same with angelic fucking chaos, bro. I thought it was just angelic chaos that would be loud. I didn't realize that it was also Kakenuke. I kind of forgot from Shiori's route. So, you know, I'm gonna have to say my opinions off. I'm gonna have to save my opinions until after the credits, you know?
夏の日にテンションばっかり絶望というには近く遠いさ一瞬じちゃう I wanna change it just for you 何をもってアイデンティティ明日も同じプロセス覆すこがじゃ愛だって恋にしたって何万年同じ繰り返しコントロールパラドックス理解できるはずもない So tell me for you are safe 嘆き愛はあってみたり悩めと青い毎日はきらめくどうしようもなく叫びたくなるような日々にもがきながら進んでけ不完全 ゆう学園に行くわよ
I said I would voice my opinions after the credits, but like, I've been doing it the entire fucking route. I've been going on long ass tangents about about certain points in this fucking route that I hate, and my opinions haven't changed. Well, like, what do you expect? Sure, Hibiki had a fucking character arc, but that didn't change that fact that it barely changed her personality, right? She embarrassed him even more than when she announced to the entire club when she detailed the things that they did when they had sex after the confession to the whole club, right? So, you know, but fine, playing devil's advocate, Hibiki is cute, right? She's a very cute girl, and if I was as extroverted as her, she would be the perfect girlfriend. But the problem is, I am like you. I am an introvert. I'm not as focused on making money as he is, because he has a job and I don't. Right? He actually is making money so he can support her so he can support his family. Meanwhile, my parents just graduated. My parents just retired, so you know, they don't need to make money. I mean, they're still making money through means, right? Through things, but still. So, like, regardless of that, I'm still an introvert. I'm still like you in that way. So, having a girlfriend like Hibiki would be so draining. That's the best way to put it. It would be draining. But that's the other thing. There are other things that I am not like you about, in terms of the fact that I have at least some more. I have a bit more of a backbone than he does. So unlike you, who just lets Hibiki walk all over him and doesn't actually set any boundaries, I would list my boundaries. Would very clearly state my boundaries so that Hibiki doesn't push them, when unknowingly push them, I mean, right? Now, whether or not Hibiki would respect said boundaries is up in the air, right? But considering the fact that she did, in fact, not visit him while he was, you know, working on the Kazumi Festival, right, after he clearly stated that he's busy and doesn't want to be distracted while he's working, right? He didn't visit him that entire week, so she respected those boundaries, even if it was it was due to insecurity. But with that being said, that comment that stated that this route would not change my opinion of Hibiki, or not change my ranking at the very least of on the list for Hibiki, is right. she isn't going anywhere on that ranking. All right, she's still at the very bottom. So unlucky, but be less annoying next time. Maybe in the after chapter or whatever it's called. Summer vacation was over, and classes were now back in session.
潮風が気持ちいいわね。
You know, going to give that skateboard a break when even at the start of the new term, huh?
相変わらずだね、響ちゃんは。
It doesn't really make sense why she would be rolling around on a skateboard to get to school if her boyfriend and his sister aren't also on a skateboard. So it's like she's gonna be using it, but like she'll still be walking, right? She'll be moving at walking distance at the very least.
当たり前でしょ。私イコールスケボーっていう認知を世界に広めていくつもり。
What's the point of that? Just thank the Lord for Hibiki's skateboard, that while the boardwalk does have planks facing horizontally from how the skateboard would be going, they are close enough together that she wouldn't be that the wheels would not be getting stuck in between the planks. I don't know what the right word would be, but you've seen boardwalks like that, right? Some of you at least, where there are gaps between the boards. So, riding a skateboard on that kind of surface would be fucking horrible. Right? And I mean, like, most boardwalks don't have gaps big enough for like a phone, and while there are boardwalks like that where a phone could, slip through, they're very rare. But, thank God this one isn't like that.
ねえねえ、あの人たちって。
噂の青春部の人じゃない？
We could hear people whisper off behind us.
よしよし。風見フェスのおかげで青春部の認知度も上がったみたいね。きっと入部希望者がじゃんじゃん来るわよ。
Please spare me.
おい、あれ見ろよ。ああ、知ってる。青春シャウトの2人だろ。熱々だよな。みんなの前で愛してるだぜ。よくやるよな、ほんとさ。
I tried to keep my embarrassment in check when walking through the school gate.
ねえねえ、噂になってるわよ、ユウ。
And why, Hibiki? And do you sound so happy about this?
だって私とユウのラブをみんなが知ってるのよ。これってすごいことじゃない？
Well, I don't want people fucking talking about it 24/7, alright?
いやー、照れちゃうな。
This goes past embarrassing and straight to brutal. Don't use your catchphrase in this moment. Your catchword, it's not even a phrase.
あ、見てよ。あの人が当のユウでしょ？そうそう、俺に甘えてくれよ、頼ってくれよっていう。
Unless his catchphrase would be, that's brutal. So it's 2 words, so it's technically a sentence. It's technically a phrase.
あの二人、うちのクラスだからね。しかも、最後に結婚を誓い合ったって、本当？うん、間違いないわよ。元から仲は良かったけど、もはや夫婦よね。結婚おめでとう、響ちゃん。うん、ありがとう。
And this is too much. This is too much. I wanna die right here and now. You and me both, you.
でさ、ユウが言ったんだよ。
Don't fuck off, Shinji.
だからさ、一人で抱え込まないで、俺にもお前を支えさせてくれよ。お前が俺を支えてくれたように、俺だって。
It's already bad enough that the students that went to the festival heard all of that. Now he wants to spread it throughout the entire fucking school. Brother, we would not be friends. And I mean, I'm exaggerating, but still. If I was in the situation and Shinji was my friend, I'd still be friends with him, even if he did all this. But still, he would not be my best friend.
世界で一番大切な大好きなお前を支えていきたいんだってな。
This is one of those things where it's like, it's very embarrassing, but like at the end of the day, it's all in good fun, right? When you grow up and become an adult, you're all gonna have a laugh about that time you essentially proposed to each other on the stage, on the youth shout off, right, in front of all of the people attending a festival, right? But still, in the moment, this is so embarrassing. I smacked Shinji upside the head with my shoe for giving that speech.
何すんだよ。
He was so embarrassed, he didn't just use his hand, he used his whole shoe. That's what I want to know, you idiot. What are you telling people about this? It's super embarrassing. He was repeating everything I'd said word for word. He even recorded it.
いや、そう言うけどさ、お前らのこと学園中の噂になってるからな。
What am I blanking? Hijiri even said told Hibiki to record everything that I said, and now it's posted all over the internet. Are you serious? A lot of students from our school attended the festival. I'd expected some rumors to spread following the event, but
おはようございます、トーノくん。
well, the problem is that those rumors are spreading, but those rumors are being spread via Shinji and your other friends. Just save me, Kashima. Erase me from everyone's memories.
そんなことができたら、世界一のマジシャンになれますよ。
All I'm gonna say is I'm looking forward to Riri's route, alright? Because Riri is a lot less extroverted than Hibiki. Crap. Oh, what was the fastest way to get people to stop talking about it?
ほら見て、これがその時の動画よ。
Wait, no. I was joking about the video. What do you mean? What do you mean there's a video? Who posted this?
響ちゃん泣いてる。
I don't know why I said Hibiki recording. I meant Shiori. It's because I was thinking of Hiragi, right? Because it's Shiori's last name, and I just thought of H as for Hiragi, but I said Hibiki because I was trying to say Shiori's first name, and fuck me. Two girls seated behind us were watching a video on their cell phone. In the video, Hibiki and I were on the stage. Hey, where did you get that video?
青春部が公開してるデータ見てるだけだよ。
The Youth Collective released it?
あ、そういえば、柊さんが撮った録画データをネット上で共有したってひじりさんが言ってましたね。
Like I said, I was joking when I said Hijiri told Shiori to record everything that you said. That dark type nasty woman did it. She was going to pay for this. Oh, come on. This is too brutal to possibly be a joke.
いいじゃない、別に。
Oh, you okay with this? Because she's the one who... What do you mean? She's literally the one who forced you to come up on stage and say all of those embarrassing things. You don't think it's embarrassing?
そりゃ、今は恥ずかしいって思うけど。でも大丈夫。バカなことやって、恥ずかしいことをいろいろぶちまけてさ。そういうのって、時が過ぎれば、きっといい思い出になると思うんだ。
That's what I'm saying. But still, that doesn't change the fact that you should have had that moment in private. It still would have been a good memory. It's just a memory that, you know, I feel like you didn't want to share with everyone at the fucking festival. Hibiki looked out the window toward the sprawling azure sky.
私、この夏のことは一生忘れない。みんなでいろいろやって、すっごく楽しかった。この記憶は、大人になってもきっと、ずーっと私の中で残り続けると思う。それってさ、最高だと思わない？
Hibiki.
今年の夏はもうすぐ終わっちゃうけど、来年も、再来年も、いっぱい楽しいことしましょう。夏だけじゃない。秋も冬も春も、私と一緒に目いっぱい青春するの。そう考えれば、ワクワクしてこない？
Yeah, I guess so. I couldn't help but grin at Hibiki, who didn't seem the least bit discouraged. My girlfriend was the most positive person I knew. I wanted to become someone who matched her well.
ところで響さん、夏休み青春リストなんですけど。ああ、そうよ。何か忘れてると思った。
That was a thing, huh?
まだキャンプと虫取りが消化できてないのよね。
Wow, they actually mentioned it.
今度の連休を使って消化しましょう。
Bug catching never made it onto the list in the first place.
なんでよ、虫取りやりたい。それ以外にもう一つ消化できてないものがあったんですけど。あれ？
The homework. It's the homework thing, right? What was it?
お前らな、俺の提案したやつがあっただろ。
Don't worry, Shinji. I remembered. What Shinji suggested.
あ、
Both Hibiki and I went pale simultaneously. Shinji's suggestion was do our homework together as a group.
ねえ、ゆう。
What is it?
あんた、夏休みの宿題やった？
No. Shinji, did you?
俺は風見フェスの準備中に終わらせてあるぜ。
That's because, you weren't as busy as you.
私も終わらせてます。私は終わらせてないわよ。
Hibiki wasn't as busy during that period of time either, but she was more depressed. So, she didn't really have the motivation to do anything because all she wanted to do was go to Yu's place. But you already set the boundary of, he doesn't want her to go to his place while he's working. So, she respected that boundary. But because of that, she didn't feel motivated to do anything else. Anyway, me neither. Every day with Hibiki had been such a whirlwind that it had completely slipped my mind.
おいゆ、まずいぞ。夏休みの宿題は成績に影響するって前に言ったよな。
My scholarship student qualification. This might be beyond saving.
こうなったら、逃げるわよ、ゆう。
Huh? What good will running away do?
今日は風邪で欠席ってことにして、明日までに宿題を全部終わらせるの。そうと決まれば、先生に見つからないようダッシュ。
Hibiki bolted out of the classroom at lightning speed. Well, it's a better solution than accepting your fate and handing in a not so finished summer homework. Whoa, wait, hey! Hibiki and I ran back the path we came as hard as we could.
楽しいわね、ゆう。
There's nothing fun about this, especially since his scholarship is on the line. These things always happen when I'm around you.
そうよ、これが青春よ。
It's also his livelihood. I mean, here's the thing, right? The main reason why I complained about this whole thing of, oh, his scholarship's going to be revoked, which means he can't go to the school, is because of the fact that how do I say this? Hibiki was the most distraught from this piece of information that you would have had to go to a different school if his scholarship was revoked and blah blah blah, right? But it's because of Hibiki that you isn't making as much money as he would be able to do the thing, be able to potentially afford going to school, right? That's why it's like, that's why during the comment round I had that whole plan of, okay, okay, if you and Ritsu had the scholarship taken away from them, there was still the possibility of Ritsu still going to school if you just spent, if you just started working at the restaurant full time, right? Or something like that.
私と一緒なら何でも青春になっちゃうんだから。そう考えたら最高でしょ?
Honestly, she was something else. Oh man. It's so great. I hate it, damn it. Under the rays of the summer sun, amid the resounding roar of the ocean waves, I ran down this path with the best girlfriend in the whole world. Not even close to Shiori. I'll give Hibiki's route this one thing.
駆け抜け青春、スパーキング。
It made me very passionate in my disliking of the route. It made me as passionate about I was as passionate in disliking Hibiki's route as I was in disliking the common route, because the problems in the common route kinda, they didn't really leave in Hibiki's route. They just became different problems. But, you've already listened to me complaining about all the things that I don't like in Hibiki's route. I shouldn't do it again, and I won't do it again. So, what I will do is thank you for watching. Right? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a subscribe would be appreciated. Right? You could like the video. Apparently, that's a whole thing of the views don't count. A view doesn't count if you don't like the video or whatever the fuck. I still don't believe the algorithm has changed to have that feature implemented. Right? I don't know. It's weird. I just feel like that's another way for YouTubers to farm engagement. If they say your view only counts if you like the video, right? That's another layer of engagement that most people don't do, right? It's just an evolution from the, if this video gets so and so many likes, I will do such and such, right? But either way, I will know. I'm not. It's not a complaint, right? It's just a hustle. That's the best way to put it, right? But like the video, and if you enjoyed, I'm not going to do anything if I reach a certain amount of likes, right? And I doubt your view won't count if you don't like the video, but I would still appreciate it, right? I would still appreciate it if you liked and commented the video and you subscribed to my YouTube, and also maybe followed me on Twitch, or maybe went over to my Patreon to see all the hate scenes and all the stuff that I had to censor in the route, and so and stuff like that. And I don't know. Either way, next time I will be starting off. I will be doing Riri's route, right? The whole thing of deciding whether or not to do Riri's route or Hibiki's route. I don't need to decide that. I don't need to choose between them anymore. I can choose Riri's route because I already did Hibiki's. Either way, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye bye.